some time ago, on a Saturday afternoon, I found myself with about an hour and a half of free time to get a bunch of errands done after I dropped our daughter off at soccer practice. One of the stops on my tight, carefully planned itinerary was at Canadian Tire. I'd parked the car and was jogging to the entrance when I heard a voice ask, "Is that your van?" I saw an older gentleman looking at me and, well, my van. Confident that I hadn't hit anyone and that it was properly parked, I answered yes, but I was sure curious as to why he would ask. He was standing beside what turned out to be his car, a vintage Mercury Marquis. He told me he'd bought some stuff at Canadian Tire, but it wouldn't fit in his trunk. It would fit in my van, he thought. He also thought that I could load it up and bring it to his house. It wasn't far, he said. My first not so generous response was to frown and look at my watch, thinking, you've got to be kidding me. But for some reason, after some hesitation, I said, okay. I had a quick purchase to make, I told him, and then I'd try to help. All the time I was looking for the item that I needed, and as I waited in line to pay, I was fuming. In my head, I was yelling at him and thinking to me, I don't have time for this. I met him at the checkout. Turns out he'd bought a set of patio furniture, and he was right on 2 counts. There was no way it was going to fit into his trunk, spacious as it was. And I was able to wrestle it into my Plymouth Voyageur. I followed as he exited the parking lot and proceeded down the street at a sedate, yeah, even a stately pace. And I was right behind him, going really fast, I wished, because I was in a hurry. And maybe that's what did it, being forced to slow down. I don't know. But I started to breathe a little, and then a lot easier. And then I smiled. How audacious to blithely expect that someone would just, well, do this for him. It struck me that my dad would have done something like that, except that maybe he might not have been quite so polite. Not that this man had said please either, for that matter. But it struck me too, that it says something about a person's outlook and perhaps even worldview, believing, even knowing that if you need help and ask for it, help will come because helping is the right thing to do. And help will follow you home too, for that matter, as opposed to making a quick left turn with all your new patio furniture. Made me smile. When we got to his home, and he was right about that too, it wasn't far, I followed him onto his driveway and started unloading the van. His dear wife came out of the house immediately to ask what was going on. Made me smile. When her husband explained, she gave him a distinctly serious dressing down, of the kind that made you think that this might not have been the very first one of its kind. That too made me smile. He offered to pay me something for my efforts, but by that time I was able to say honestly, no, thank you. You have done much more for me today than I for you. And he had. Or he did, whichever is grammatically correct. The rest of my day was much better than it would have been without that detour. Thank you very much, I said to him. As you've heard, we're asking for help. Audaciously, I don't know. First, well, because we need it. Second, because we believe, we know that the people we ask will do what they can. And it most certainly is our hope that when they do, they will feel richer for it as well. Looking forward to seeing lots of you out at Cyclothon tomorrow. Thank you very much.